How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of MaLioSher Gaming. So today I'm trying something different again. I figured my first attempt to live stream my Grand Arena went so amazingly bad that I obviously had to try again. And so what I'm doing this time is, instead of bringing it completely live, I'm doing live commentary to my Grand Arena that I did. So it should go a lot smoother. It shouldn't freeze. Sadly, it's not going to be a very good fight because my opponent pretty much kicked my butt. But hey, can't win them all. So I'm just getting everything ready here, making sure that everything is sounding good. So in about 1 second or so, we're going to get everything up and running. So I hope you guys enjoy this version better. Like I said, I'm trying out a few different ways to do this. That way, I really want to get to be able to do the whole thing live. I feel that brings a lot more, coolness to the whole thing, and I think that I'll be able to. I just need to get a few more things, like I said, worked out. Make sure that the the not necessarily just the software, but like for some reason, well, it's basically all the problem of the software. It's for some reason when I was doing it, everything was freezing and like it didn't like me. So here I have all the things should be going a lot smoother now. And we're almost ready to start going here. One of the fun things about Twitch is that they like to do pre-roll ads. So what that means is that as people are watching, like when people join in, it gives them a nice gross ad to look at. So what I'm going to do before we get started is I'm going to force it to roll an ad. That way, if I forcefully roll an ad, it's going to prevent others from having to see an ad. So I'm trying to be cool about this and make it work. So let me just get it to do it. And of course it doesn't like me. Why? Here we go. All right, so I'm going to take a quick 1-minute ad break, and then we're going to get started with this Grand Arena. with this one, so I think that it's going to be fine. I think that it's going to be able to counter a lot more Grievouses than I've ever tried. So here I purposely, you know, was letting the Night Sisters build up some damage, and then right before the end just bring back everybody so I get as much reward as possible. So I'm happy with it. So the other guys here, they seemed a little bit scary. Trying to decide who I want to go for next, and once again, since the guy that attacked me pretty much cleared the board with me, and so the first time I tried going live, I was attacking the Darth Revan there. That's why you see he's already got one battle, and my game froze. And so after he cleared me and that game froze, I knew that there was nothing I can do to win this round, because he was able to clear everything without, you know, with one battle. So I knew I was screwed from the start. So I was able to play around some. So here I tried some Imperial Troopers against these Mandos plus Wampa, and while I absolutely crush them, it just makes me want to upgrade my Maul so much more. He's going to be really fun. I've always been a big Darth Maul fan. Despite me being a super nerd, I haven't been able to too many anime conventions, but the one that I've been to, I was dressed up as Darth Maul, and I liked it a lot. I went with a whole, you know, fake, like, spikes in my head and everything like that, and it went really well. The second time I went to one, apparently I missed the memo. So it was at an all-girls college in Massachusetts, and I didn't realize that, like, what time the event started, and I went there dressed once again up as Maul, with I had like my cool double-sided lightsaber and everything, face paint, spikes and everything like that. And I'm walking around campus trying to find this darn event that wasn't starting till the evening, and I had like all these people call the police on me saying there's like some crazy dude walking around as Darth Maul in the campus and like freaking out all these women, and I'm like, oops. And like no one, like the police never stopped me or anything like that. No one told me anything. And then finally at the nighttime, when like, you know, I find someone and ask them, it's like, oh, when does this thing start up? It's like, oh, it starts up at 6 p.m. I was there like noontime. So for like 6 hours, I went walking around this like tiny little town in Massachusetts, fully dressed up as Darth Maul, waiting for the darn event to start. And when I finally get to the, like, you know, nighttime and the event starts up, I was like infamous there, because everyone's like, oh my god, you're the Maul, you're the guy that was walking around, you know. I was laughing my butt off. So I got a lot of great attention and lots of photo ops, because people wanted to take pictures of the crazy dude that was walking around in all-girls college dressed as Darth Maul. So this battle, since I used up my Padme, which is my favorite go-to counter to Darth Revan, I'm like, well, what am I gonna do? And so I went with Gas, and I almost lost. It was pretty darn close. So the troopers for Gas are definitely, the clone troopers are definitely one of my highest priorities coming up, trying to get them to get stronger. That way I can more reliably counter a lot of stuff. He's amazing. He's one of the greatest characters, but once again, there's just too many people to level up. Not enough time or resources to everybody. So for here, I wanted to make sure that I get through this no problem, and I didn't want to mess around. And I figured maybe somehow I'll magically get enough points to catch up to this dude. So I went for a race solo here. I call it solo because Wat Tambor is just there to give me his tech and then just die off. So welcome from YouTube land. For some reason, your chats are not coming up on the stream, but Caponeva, however you pronounce your name there, hello. I was typing to you because something's going wrong. It's only displaying the Twitch chat on the stream, so. So, nice, super easy attack here. Anytime you use Rey, it's all about her Sun Whirlwind. So you want to generally not use her ultimate as much as you would think. You want it to, you know, hurt yourself with lifeblood, kill somebody off, heal up, and just rinse and repeat. But here, since I was almost out of people to attack, I'm like, yeah, why not? I'll just finish it off. And then we get a nice little peek at what he's got in the back row. So, I was very sad about that back row because the nest in the back, I Arnold'd myself. As you guys remember Arnold in his stream fighting for #1. So here I'm just going through showing you what I had for defense and how this dude just utterly annihilated me with one shot. Even my Executor, he just like blew through my Executor like it wasn't even there. So I definitely want to know what he had. But yeah, Arnold famously in his last fighting for #1 here came up against a nest and got stuck behind her because he couldn't kill her, and every time he attacked he kept healing her. So sadly I did that to myself too. I got to the darn nest and she just was healing faster than I can hurt her. So, well, you know what I mean, like when you attack her she just infinitely heals essentially. So here, these guys are not very hard, so I didn't want to put too much into this battle, but like I don't put a lot and then all of a sudden, you know, craziness happens. I wish that for some, like, I would be able to see how many people were in, like, the chat and who was there. I gotta work on my pop-ups and stuff like that a lot more. So after this battle is up, gonna go on to the next one here. Another easy victory. And I tried Wampa again against the Ewoks in the live stream, and it went terrible. Like, the Frozen game did better than I did trying to fight him. I don't know why everything was so terrible. It like, so the first time I did it, well, the first time I failed doing it, I'm like, well, I wonder if, like, you know, maybe it has something to do with the whole thing that he got stunned or something. So I tried to say, okay, let's try to stun everybody there. That way he won't be able to, you know, if I stun, like, so the first time I stunned them and then they got cleansed and I got owned. So the second time I'm like, okay, let's try to not use the first hit be the mass stun, and I just did a basic attack and then just got run over by the darn Ewok. So definitely not as good as a counter as I thought. He's not counter attacking like he's supposed to. Like I thought that once he gets hit he would counter attack easily, but not quite what I expected. So here instead I decide to go a nice guaranteed victory route again, throw some bounty hunters at them. And unlike Wampa, they literally just cannot hurt Bosk. He's just like taking hits from everybody, and his life is just not moving. So slightly different battle, being able to do 210,000 damage on one hit. So a lot easier, as you can see. So when you have Kylo Ren unmasked their KRU and they're not relicked, Ewoks are actually a good counter against him, but I have mine on defense and they got steamrolled, so. I'm really liking Krennic's Empire, as I call it. So much to the point that I'm going to be starting to work on more on his other people. So like Death Trooper and Death Trooper and Krennic always have a special odd bond. So this battle went not as well as I expected. Like Old Republic is not a group to sneeze at. They have so many assists and everything like that. In fact, I might have even lost this battle. But let's skip ahead some of this boring part because it's just a lot of back and forth attacking. Yeah, so like you guys saw all of that relic power that went against this, and it still managed to lose against it. It's mind blowing how good Old Republic is on defense. Like, there's no reason that go back to the start here. You've got Relic 5 Krennic and Relic 5 TIE Fighter, Relic 5 Royal Guard, and then Relic 3 Moff Grand Moff Tarkin there. There's no reason that that should have lost. It's crazy how good they are in defense. But once again, since like I knew that I was screwed from the beginning because this battle was just a lost cause, I wasn't too butthurt about losing. So here I'm using one of my new favorite attacking groups, Mon Mothma, or Mo Money Mothma, and I decided I'm like, well, let's bring in Cassian to apply healing immunity just in case that I run into any trouble because if you were trying to do this kind of a counter on anything higher than like G12, you're going to need something to be able to do healing immunity on Kylo Ren. Otherwise, every time you attack him, he's just going to heal faster than you can hurt him. yeah, just make sure that you. So when you're fighting First Order, you want to kill the Executioner first because he does a lot of damage, and Kylo Ren Masked is also a pain in the butt, but he also heals a lot, so he's kind of tough. So I like to make sure that if you're gonna kill when you're fighting First Order, you always want to do Hux first because he passes a lot of turn meter. The Red Trooper because he always assists and stuff like that. If they're not around and Executioner's around, you want to go for him. You can always leave KRU last because he doesn't hurt at all, and you just don't really need to worry about him. So I was gonna do these guys to finish him off, but I'm like, oh, I'm gonna save IG-88 to solo something in the back row, and I ended up not using him later on. And so I'm like, let's play with some Mandos. Ridiculously Mando overkill. Mando's pretty much one of the crappier groups, but I'm trying to get them to get better. So how's it going over there? Thank you for joining in. So, I keep forgetting a lot of times that, like, when people write to me and stuff like that, that they're hearing my voice. So I was playing Diablo, and I was getting my butt kicked, and someone in the stream hopped in, and, like, they were typed to me, and then I typed back to them, and, like, this went on for, like, a good 30 minutes, and then finally, like, I'm listening to you, you don't have to type to me. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. So finishing this off here. Now we check to see what they've got for their ships, and nothing too crazy. So let's go off and finish off the back row here. Yep, one of my guildmates was saying how they like to save their Vader for soloing people, but I always keep them as a nice little grouped party here. But so here I did Jedi Training Rey, which was more than enough to kill everybody, but one of my favorite resistance there, Old Man Han, he does stagger on his basic, so I basically screwed myself here because, like, as I'm fighting Nest, I kept staggering her and she just never took a turn again. So if I did just like Poe, Finn, JTR, and BB-8, this battle would have been easy peasy, but I screwed myself by trying to do something better here, and Ness just never took a turn. And then here I realized this is the moment I effed up. And this just goes on for another 4 minutes of just attacking her relentlessly. And yeah. My phone started to time out because it was just taking so long. When you've got a really hard person like a Nest that is hard to take down, and you don't want to be able to, unless you get healing immunity on her and I'll do all sorts of crazy things, my go-to thing to do is either annihilate them with like the bounty hunters with Mando, or just annihilate them with Sith. So here, I'm just going to have some Sith fun here. Annihilate them with Nihilus. So you want to fracture her so she doesn't counter, and then I brought in Vader to do ability blocks, hoping that, like, you know, if she does get a turn in, she doesn't do her little mass daze on me. And then Thrawn just kept feeding her turns, or kept feeding Nihilus turns. And needless to say, this went on for a few minutes until I annihilated her. Let's skip ahead. So, here versus some rebels, I said, let's stick some rebels too. Good old CLS. You know, Phoenix team likes to counter, so I gave them some of their own medicine and brought in CLS to counter all of their attacks and have them kill themselves. And one last person. Great victory there. Nice. And one last team to clean up the back here. So, I honestly am not a fan of Emperor Palpatine. Like, as one character, as you're gonna see here, he's just not very good on his own. He's kind of like Yoda. So, like, to me, everyone raves about Yoda being such a great character, and, like, I don't put him on my Padme team just because he's so squishy. Just like here, you're gonna see Relic 7 freaking Emperor Palpatine just gets destroyed by these, like, Gear 8 people, and it's sad. It's pathetic. Like, this should never happen. Like, if you had someone like heck, most other characters, like Vader, would just one-shot all these people. Or even, like, I should have put, like, here I should have put in IG-88, because he would have been able to just AoE destroy everybody. And it's pathetic how a Relic 7 person can just be destroyed so easily by such crap people. And it happens to me a lot. Like, I bring him to a lot of bigger battles, and he just doesn't perform like a Relic 7 character should. I don't know. He's modded really well. I use him to get, you know, all the other, like, you know, unlocking Sith Eternal. He's just modded good for that, so it's, I don't know, it's just weird. Versus, like, look at IG-88's AoE versus Palpatine's. Like, Palpatine's should have destroyed them, and instead it didn't. But IG-88, which is only, I want to say Relic 5 or something, did so much better. But, oh well. So now we're going to go into ships. And since they've got their pretty decent Kenobi there, I had to stick my Kenobi against them. And it doesn't go perfectly, but it doesn't go bad, I think. I don't remember now. So I probably should have done that attack on his Y-wing, I mean, to get the whatchamacallit. I'm drawing a blank here. To prevent him from taunting. But one of the reasons that I like to attack Anakin with that and prevent him from, like, so say for instance, if you're able to kill him and get his, to trigger his, like, you know, his savior essentially, if you AoE him and he has the ability block, not ability block, but prevent him from getting buff immunity, when he triggers his savior, he won't go under stealth, and then you can finish him off with another attack. But didn't quite do enough damage to kill him in one hit like I was hoping to. So Y-wing is Y-wing is one of those tanks that I'm not too much of a fan of. Also, it doesn't do well for me, and it's not like, it's funny because, like, he can't be modded, so like everyone with a 7-star Y-wing has the same exact 7-star Y-wing, but mine just doesn't perform as well as others. I would say. It's not like some of the other tanks, like, of course, you know, Houndstooth is amazing, but there's other really good tanks out there. Like, even the Rebel Y-wing, I think it's better, especially because he can do the, you know, shield immunity, like, he removes your shield there. But so that battle didn't go too well, but easily able to clean up. So here I'm trying to decide, do I want to go for finishing up him, or do I want to go to fight Thrawn? And I decide, let's finish it up. My Geos are one of the greatest ships there are, but sadly my Geos are only G12, so they're not that great. But Spy still pretty much deletes anyone you target, so. As our chief strategist DNT would like to point out, that he was #1 in fleets for years with his Geos, so they are amazing. One of the ships that I really need to work on learning better is Malevolence, because I'm going to use Malevolence in the next battle, and I have no idea how to use it. Half the time that I use it, I just stick it on auto and just, like, cross my fingers and hope for the best. It does so well. Like, a lot of things on auto don't do very well. Like SLKR on auto is terrible because he does his AoE so much that he never builds up his siphon, and like I think that he's one of the worst people that you can have on auto. Malevolence, on the other hand, is an utter beast on auto. Last but not least, so I was gonna do Holdo and say, okay, I'm gonna try to bring in Holdo, like use her little sacrifice there to kill his ship, but Mike, let's just try going for one shot instead and killing him with malevolence. So with my amazing 5 and 6 star Hyena Bomber there. So Hyena Bomber is one of the greatest tanks in the game. I just cannot rave enough about Hyena Bomber. It is so ridiculous. Like, to me, it's probably my second favorite tank, next to, of course, Bosk's ship. But it's so sturdy, and just, I don't know if it heals a lot, or I don't know its kit very well. All I know is that anytime I fight it, I just really hate it. TIE Bomber is also a pretty darn decent ship. Like, all of these tanks, I would say they're way better than the BTL Y-Wing. I just don't like the BTL Y-Wing. And like, look how well Malevolence does in auto. Almost through everybody. And even after getting nuked, it does so well. And the ultimate's pretty good too. Like, it's really good how, like, it strips all of their shields from them, and it just makes them just so much more susceptible. That, like, you're gonna see here that my craptastic, so just like I hate Palpatine. Oh, I thought I won that battle. Or not. I do clean it up, but in my memory, I swear that I've won that battle pretty easily. But anyways, just like I'm not a fan of Palpatine for being like so strong yet so weak, Vader's custom tie is also not as good as I would expect it to be. Like, for some reason, for me, he doesn't perform well. He, like, you know, for having a Relic 7 pilot in it, it's just, I don't know if it's too squishy or what, but he just dies really easily for me. And disappointing. Like, he should be a lot stronger. Like, he doesn't hit as hard as he should, just like Palpatine. Like, Palpatine doesn't hit as hard as he should for being Relic 7. I don't think that Vader hits as hard as he should in a ship. You know, the character is just god tier character, but and last love taps. So guys, I hope you enjoyed it. It should go a lot smoother from now on. I'm still getting all the kinks worked out, but let me know which one you prefer better. Having the other one, like, you know, my original of being recorded and then posted, or this, or live, because next time I definitely want to try it live and see if I can get all the kinks worked out. But till then, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Peace!